أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآله. Assalamu alaikum jamiyan, and thank you very much for joining this sixth session of this course. Next will be the last session of this course. And it is session number 34 since we started Quranic Arabic. I'm glad that many of you understand the concept, because based on the homework submitted, I can see that most of the things understood, but there are small things, of course, which are a little tricky and we need to cover together. That's why we do, for example, give you homework and then we make a point that every class before we start, we go through the homework of the previous class. That way, even what I had intention to cover within the homework is also covered there. Because sometimes the text does not get into details. It just gives a few rules and then it gives ayat of Quran. So it requires some discussion. So let's begin as usual. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma waffiqna lima tuhibbu wa tarda. ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين أبدا. اللهم أخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمنا من نور الفهم. اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصل على محمد وآله الطاهرين. Thank you very much for joining us on time, so we can then continue and cover maximum as we progress. So we started discussing magnified nouns last week, and today also we'll continue the same lesson, and then inshallah look at the next lesson, which will be the last lesson in this course, also last lesson in unit 1. We'll start unit 2 inshallah the next course. So this is it. Now you can see that abun, akhun, and famun. That is father, brother, and mouth, right? The way it is used, these are magnified nouns. These nouns are always compounded with another word, a possessive phrase, as we'll see. So note when we add the first person singular pronoun, to magnify abun, akhun, it becomes abi, akhi, fami. Now this is where the trick was. And I'm glad that Samina did ask about this in last class also. But because this first person pronoun is added, it does not make it genitive all the time. Of course, abi is my father. So of course, mudaf ilayh, that's fine, that abi, But then abi can also be abi and still remain nominative. For example, let's say, kataba abi ila akhi. You want to say that my father wrote to, that's my mother, right? Kataba abi ila ummi. Kataba is wrote. Abi is my father. So kataba abi, wrote my father. Here my father would not be genitive, although it's abi. Kataba abi, that means wrote my father. Here my father is a subject. The subject is always what? Nominative, right? We have done. Subject is always nominative. Object is the one accusative. So this is where many of you who answered the question homework, this point was missed out. That abi on its own, yes, abi is my father. So kataba abi ila ummi. My father wrote to my mother. Or kala abi li ummi. Or my father, for example, said this to my mother, right? So kala abi, here of course abi will be nominative. And most of us, because we saw it's abi, here for example, abi genitive, and they automatically thought that abi is genitive. Yes. Abun, of course, is nominative. Abu is nominative, and abi is genitive. Yes. Now, for example, but then if abi itself, right, is the subject, then it will be nominative. That is a very tricky thing, that it is genitive in case of Abu, if you want to make it genitive. But then, if father here, ya, this ya is not of possession. You can see here, abi, this abi does not mean my father here. Here, abi is the genitive of abi, of abu. Here, the accusative of abu, abu is aba, and genitive is abi. But then abi here is genitive, doesn't mean my father. It just means the genitive of abu. No, for example, let's say ila abi Abdullah, right? So if I want to say that durtu Abu Abdullah. No, I visited Abu Abdullah. وكتبت له رسالة. No? Or for example, so you can, if one says كتبت إلى أبي Abdullah, I wrote a message, كتبت رسالة إلى Abdullah, I wrote a message to Abu Abdullah. That means, for example, Hussein, right? So that will be إلى أبي Abdullah. That Abi will not be my father. إلى أبي Abdullah means the father of Abdullah. Okay, so don't confuse Abi with my father as Abu, Abi as a genitive of Abu. Are you all with me? For example, Qala Abu Abdullah. Abu Abdullah said, that means Imam Hussein or Imam Jafar Sadiq, both Abu Abdullah, right? But when you find Abu Abdullah in Ziyarat, most probably it's Imam Hussein. When you find Abu Abdullah in Hadith, it is a 60th Imam. So Qala Abu Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Abu Abdullah. Peace be on you, O Abu Abdullah. So Qala Abu Abdullah, here Abu is just that compound, that father of Abdullah, right? Katabtu a-risala, I wrote a message or a letter, ila Abi Abdullah. No. So here Abi Abdullah is not, I wrote a letter to my father Abdullah. No, I wrote a letter to Abu Abdullah. But because it becomes Abi Abdullah. Okay, so Abu Abdullah is also a kunya, is a name, Abu Abdullah, father of Abdullah, is kunya, right? So kunya of was the 3rd Imam and also the 6th Imam. Okay. So that difference, please try to keep it in mind. Okay. We'll see as we know. And then, of course, example of the Quran, for example, قال ربي إني لا أملك إلا نفسي وأخي, right? We can see إلا نفسي وأخي. So here you can see, I do not, قال ربي إني لا أملك إلا نفسي وأخي. Here أخي is not genitive. Here أخي is أخي because it means my brother. أخي. No. Also here, for example, أن أكون مثل هذا الغراب وأواري سبعة أخي. سبعة أخي, that means the corpse or the dead body of my brother. So here أخي. Here أخي is not necessarily genitive. It is just أخي, that means my brother. إن أبي يدعو. No. يدعوك. My father, for example, إن أبي يدعوك. My father is calling you. So you can say here أبي. Do you see إن أبي? My father, indeed, my father is calling Yad'uka. No. He's calling you. But here Abi is my father, is not Abi of genitive. So that difference we need to keep in mind. Let's look at, there are some examples here. If you time, look at the Quranic examples, but let's look at homework and that will clarify more. Okay? So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As he said that many of you submitted the homework and you got most of the things correct, but this was particular thing which was tricky. So Bismillah ar-Rahman. Iskalu la Yusuf wa akhuhu habbu ila abina. You can see Iskalu la Yusuf. Here la is not a preposition. Otherwise, will Yusufat, because Yusuf is a partially changeable, right? We already done. So if lam was preposition, it will be Yusuf. But no, this is lam of about ta'kid, of emphasis. It's not lam of what preposition. No. So Iskalu la Yusufu, they said, who the brother said, la Yusufu, no, akhuhu, indeed the Yusuf and his brother, akhuhu. So this akhu is nominative because you can see Yusuf also is nominative, Yusufu, you can see. Akhu, habbu ila abina, yes. Here is ila abina. Okay. So of course, because of ila, it is genitive, abi. Otherwise, it was not ila, no. Of course, it's generally because of ila, you can see, abina. So our, father, you can see, like abi, abina. So here it's abina, ila, abina. Abu, ila, abina. So abina here, of course, genitive because of proposition ila, okay, ila, abina, minna. And this was the cause, right? This was the cause of all the story of the Yusuf and his brothers, is because they felt that the father was more showing love towards Yusuf and his brother Benjamin, right? And that's how that kind of rivalry was there between Yusuf and his brother Benjamin and all the brothers from other brothers, right? Who were many and also elder, perhaps in age, and it was a big group, right? So this was a rivalry they felt. And of course, Yusuf, Yaqub being a prophet of God, it is unlikely that he would favor one son over the other son. This love of Yaqub for Yusuf and Yusuf's brother was merely because that maybe their akhlaq, like their characteristics, was good. Or could be, for example, sometimes that if their mother had died, so then they were missing their real mother, maybe he was showing them more love. But otherwise, as a father, for example, favoring one son or other sons, or one daughter or other daughters, would not be appropriate for any father, any reasonable father. And he, being a prophet of God, would not do that. But here, who is nominated? وَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَى يُوسُف. You can see, you see, Allah is a proposition, right? So I told you that Yusuf is partially changeable. Yusufu is nominative. Yusufa, this is Yusufa is genitive. Okay, why? Because of Allah. But because Yusuf is partially changeable, so Yusuf becomes only Yusufa. Remember, we said partially changeable does not have kasra, nor does it have tanween. So it is not Allah Yusufi. Otherwise, let us say in terms of Yusuf, it was Muhammad, it would be is dakhal ala Muhammadin or ala aliyin. Because Allah is a preposition. But Yusufa is a partnership. Awa ilayhi, akhahu. So when these brothers came to Yusuf, then you can see that his brother called Awa ilayhi, he called his brother, right? He took his brother as in shelter. So let us look at how this translator uses Awa ilayhi. So 12 and 69, right? So if you go there, it's a very interesting story. When they entered into the presence of Joseph, he set his brother close to himself, right? So you can see suddenly, Awa ilayhi, Awa ilayhi akhu, right? Awa ilayhi akhahu. So his brother, he just set his brother closer. So this is nominative, akhahu. Kala inni ana akhuka. And of course, by calling him closer, then he says, indeed, I am your brother, ana akhuka. Ana, so you can see this is mubtada and khabar, that I am your brother. This is mubtada and khabar, and this is all nominative. Inni akhuka. فَلَا تَبْتَئِسْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Don't be despaired regarding what they do. So this is all nominative. Okay. Then you can say, Inna lahu aban shaykhan kabira. Of course, this is Inna lahu aban shaykhan, because of Inna lahu aban shaykhan kabira. So he has a brother. Now, when they come back, when Yusuf wants to detain Benjamin, because they found the king's container in his bag, they say Inna lahu aban shaykhan. So he said that he has a father who is old, shaykhan kabir. Yes, Ali.
Just a question: the awa ilayhi akhahu, is that nominative or accusative?
Yes. Yeah. Even when I was trying to answer, it seems like it is accusative, right?
Yeah.
But it is nominative. No. Oh, yes, it all sounds like it, because you can see that, no, it says what, let's look at it again, 69, yeah. He set his brother close to himself, no? So he set his brother, Achahu. I think that no, awa, because Achahu is a subject of awa. No. Allah Yusuf awa ilayhi Achahu. You see? So it seems to me that this nominative. And also when I check, I have an Arab here, I have a Mojam al-Arab. There's a book that is known as Mojam al-Arab, that means what concordance of, what index of the complete dictionary of what Arab. So let me look at it very quickly. There's another book in English which I had, but I don't know it. If I get it, I will tell you. You know. So this is Yusuf, ayat number 69. Even initially, I thought that it is accusative, but then I realized that it seems okay. Yeah. Okay. I have to check here what it means. Okay. Here, yeah, it is nominated here, but I'm trying to see if they give the reason. Yeah, فعل المضارع, they say. فعل المضارع. So it is فعل المضارع. مرفوع بثبوت النون في آخره لأنه من الأفعال. Yes. Also here it says مفعول. Let me ask somebody in case who knows better, try to say how it is. But yeah, it even initially when I was doing this exercise, I thought it was accusative, but it is nominative. But inshallah, let's park it and let's see if we can come again later on.
Okay.
Because even it shows here as a marfu in this dictionary, and also online I checked, it was showing marfu. But there's another dictionary. There's a 3-volume work done by Morally. Although I don't know if you have it Morally, it gives all those details. I'll try to access that. I had that book I gifted to somebody because I thought that I had a PDF, but I can't find the PDF. But let me see if I can get it. It gives the results. No?
Okay.
So we'll part just now. Okay. Kala inni ana akhuka. Okay, this is in ana akhuka. No, this is just mubtada khabar. I am your brothers. Ana akhuka. Inna lahu aban shaykhan, as you said. No. So this is because of inna. No, just in between lahu does not affect that. Inna lahu aban shaykhan kabira. No. But, no, he has a father who is, of course, obviously it is accusative. You can see there is alif pataten, right? Aban shaykhan kabiran, all this one. فَلَنْ أَبْرَأَ الْأَرْضَ حَتَّى يَأْذَنَ لِي أَبِي. Now, many have made a mistake here, Abi, you can see. حَتَّى يَأْذَنَ لِي أَبِي. This Abi is a subject. You can see, let us look at the meaning of this now. 1280, right? So if you go to 1280, just look at the meaning, you can see. When they had despaired of moving him, they withdrew to corner privately. The elders of them said, don't you know that your father has taken a solemn pledge from you, right? Earlier, had neglected your duty in regard to Joseph. So I'll never dislive until my father permits me. See? فَلَنْ أَبْرَأَرْتُ حَتَّى يَأْذَنَ لِي أَبِي. You see? فَلَنْ, no, I will never leave this land until my father permits me, right? So what is my father here? It's a subject, right? My father permits me, right? So you can see here it is hatta ya'zana li abi, until my father permits me. Ya'zana is this is a what fair ya'zana li, it permits me. So abi here is a subject. Although it is, as you can see, it looks like genitive because of abi, but this abi is not genitive of abu. This abi is my father. And as I told you that abi can also be about nominative. For example, kataba abi ila ummi. My father wrote to my mother, right? So in the same way, ya'zana li abi. So this is obvious, right? It is nominative. Any questions? Is that clear? So number of you said this was genitive because of abi. Obviously, because we had said earlier, you can see that abi is genitive. Yes, abi is genitive of abu. But abi, when it comes as my father, then it's not necessary. You have to see the context, right? So here it is, abi is a subject. Hatta yazali abi, until my father permission. This is nominative. Is that clear? أو يحكم الله لي وهو خير الحاكمين. قال أنا يوسف وهذا أخي. Again, he says, I am Yusuf. وهذا أخي. So I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. So you can see if Yusuf is Yusufu, Ana Yusufu, right? It's Mubtada Khabar. Ana Yusufu. Remember? So I am Yusuf. It gives the what I am, who's I am? Yusuf. So it gives the khabar, information of Yusuf, right? Ana Yusuf, right? وَهَذَا أَخِي, and this is my brother. So this also, Akhi also is like Yusuf. It is also nominative. Again, is similar to Abi, but here Abi is the subject. Here Akhi is just what khabar, mubtada khabar. Ana Yusufu wa hadha akhi. I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. So this Akhi also is nominative. Okay. So this was again tricky. Many of you thought that this is genitive because of Akhi. Because as you said earlier, right, in the what in this what that Akhi, for example, here is genitive. Yes, Akhi is genitive Akhu, but in this case, Akhi means my brother, and it is a khabar. So Ana Haza Yusufu Ana Akhi. Ana Yusufu Haza Akhi. I'm Yusuf, and this is my brother. So it is nominative. Is that clear? Any questions? So don't confuse this Akhi with the genitive of Akhu. No, this Akhi is my brother. Here, Ya Sakin and Ya Kha, the letter Kha has Kasra, and Ya Sakin is on account of not genitive, on account of proposition. My brother. No, it's not on account of what genitive means. No. So Hada Akhi. Okay. Because if you have to say Hada Akhu, then you will not know that Hada Akhu, that means this is a brother. But he wants to say, no, this is my brother. He could have said, for example, Ana Yusufu Hada Akhu. No, for example, this is I'm Yusuf, and this is a brother. But no, he doesn't want to say this is a brother, like any other brother, like we are all brothers. No. He wants to say this is my brother. That means no, we are from the same father and mother, right? Akhi. So here Akhi is not playing the role of genitive. Akhi is playing the role of possessive. That means this is my brother. Are you all with me? Okay. That Izabu Kamisi Hada Alku ala Waji Abihi. So this you call many of you correct. Waji Abihi. Why is this genitive? Anybody? Why is abi genitive?
Position.
Because of?
Proposition. Allah.
No, not proposition. Because of what? Mudaf ilay. Wajhi abi. Wajhi abi, that means the face of my father. Wajhi abi, right? So here you can see, although this is also abi, like my father, like here earlier abi, like we said here abi, but this abi was nominative. This abi is genitive because it is wajhi abi, face of my father. Okay, so mudaf ilay, book of my father, pen of my father. So you say alku ala wajhi abi. Yes, this preposition ala brings what kasra and ha wajhi. You see. This ha is not pronoun. This ha is part of what of the word wajhi. Wajhi, that is face. So Allah is a preposition which brings about kasra and ha wajhi. But abi here is what genitive because it is face of my father. Wajhi abi. Yes, Sister Samina.
Yeah. So my question was for wajhi abi. The mudaf alayh. So face of father. There is no my.
My is abi. You see?
Abi is the from the mudaf abun.
Yes, I know. This
So
is
that
because
is
there are
father.
two ya, right? There is abi.
Yeah.
Because of what mudaf ilay.
Yeah.
And there is ya of yes, but then they would not put two ya, so it is just combined together, you know. So yes, this is a very tricky situation because wajhi. Now let us see. Does no, because obviously it says alku ala wajhi abi, as you know the story that no, he sent his shirt and said, try to put on face of my father. Let us look at the translation, right? If the translation says my father, you can see. Take the shirt of mine and cast it upon my father's face. See, so my father's face. So there is genitive and there is also possession, both combined. Okay, both are combined in this. So I know you are trying to say where is the second ya, correct? No, but they were not kept it there because this is just for if they say okay, there is bakasra and yeah, this is understood. But here in this case, abi is genitive because it is mudaf ilay, face of my father. Okay. So it is mudaf ilay as well as also it is ya of possession, abi. So it's a very tricky thing. Is that clear?
Yeah, like it does not match with the grammar that we are learning. That's why I was confused.
No, it matches because you see, let us say that now if he wants to say that alku ala wajhi abi, right? But if you want to say that, try to put on the this is abi is my father, but because in this case my father itself, like abi here was this abi was what subject. Abi was subject. You say yazanli abi was subject, become nominative. Here abi is itself is what abi itself is what means my father, but at the same time it is not it is a what mudaf ilay of wajhi abi. No, so ala wajhi abi. So this will be mudaf ilay of wajh, my father's face, because there is no other way. Otherwise, because if he wants to say wajhi ala abu, it will be difficult because he wants to say no, put the face. Wajhi abi will be just face of the father. Because wajhi abi would be face of the father, right? Because abi is what is a genitive. But in this case, it means both. Face of my father, ala wajhi abi. I agree with you that it's tricky because it's both. It's a possession, my father, in the same way like abi here. For example, ya'zin li abi, hatta ya'zan li abi. So here abi is both. Abi is my father as well as also subject, doer of the of the action. So it's nominative, you can see. But in this case, it is what it is genitive because it is mudaf ilay of wajh, the way it has been positioned in that sentence. Ammal ghulamu فَكَانَ أَبَوَاهُ مُؤْمِنَيْنِ. أَمَّا الْغُلَامُ فَكَانَ أَبَوَاهُ مُؤْمِنَيْنِ. So this أَبَوَاهُ, okay, first of all, you know what is أَبَوَاه? Anybody know the meaning of أَبَوَاه? What is the meaning of أَبَوَاه? Anybody know the meaning of أَبَوَاه here? Why is there silence here?
His parents.
Sorry? What did you say?
His parents. His parents.
Yeah, Ababa is parents. Okay? You can see Ababa means two, right? So in this case, of course, father and mother. Fakan Abawahu Mu'minain. You can see Mu'minain already. This is dual, right? Mu'minain, you can see. Mu'min is singular, Mu'minain is plural, and Mu'minain is two, like Sittain, Hasanain are dual, right? So this is, you can see. So for Kana is, as we already did, the Kana is subject is nominative, and is object is what the subject is nominative, and khabar is adjective, right? Accusative, sorry, accusative. We have done already that Kana, khabar of Kana is accusative, and the subject of Kana is nominative. So here is Fakana Abawahu. No. So and their parents were believers, mu'minin. So this again is nominative. Fakan Abawahu. Okay, here's Abawa is their parents, father, Abawahu. Fakan Abawahu mu'minin. So some of you also do this as accusative. No, because we can see Kana we have done in the past. Kana brings about the subject is always nominative, and the khabar mubtada is nominative, and the khabar is accusative. So here khabar is mu'minin. Khabar is, that means use the news. Who was their father? Information. It gives information. Khabar is information or news, right? So the news about this father that they were mu'minin. That's why what this Khidr tried to just protect, right? He tried to erect that wall and tried to protect the wealth of these orphans. فَكَانَ أَبَوَاهُ مُؤْمِنَيْنِ. أَمَّا الْغُلَامُ فَكَانَ أَبَوَاهُ. As far as the gulam, the young boy, they said the kind of, the parents were mu'minin. They were believers, right? So this is nominative. Either anta or afuka. All of you, that's correct. This is obvious. Is of anta. This is the command of Allah to Musa. Go you, wa akhuka, and your brother. Right? Wa akhuka. So here akhuka also is nominative because you and your brother go. Is of anta wa akhuka. Bi ayati wala taniya fi zikri. And do not get tired of what my zikr. So go to Fir'aun, wa akhuka. Anta wa akhuka. You and your brother. Iskal lahum akhum. Now, of course, all of you got correct. This is same. Iskal lahum akhuhum nuhun. La tattakun. No, ala tattakun, right? In all this case, of course, possible. Iskal lahum akhuhum. So this akhuhum is their brother. No, referring to Nuh. Iskal lahum. So here Nuh is the one who is subject. Iskal lahum akhuhum Nuh. Their brother Nuh. Okay. In all these cases, in this case is Nuh, in this case is Hud, in this case is Saleh, in this case is Lut, right? In all this case, it is nominative because he's a subject. He's the one who's talking about it. And of course, the second question will come to it. Is Kallahu Akhum. So is it clear that is all nominative? Is Kallahu and say to them, their brother Saleh, their brother Nuh, their brother Lut, their brother Hud, right? So in all this case is nominative. Makana Muhammadun Aba. Did I not say, you see Kana? Remember you said Kana? The Kana, always the subject is nominative and the khabar is accusative, right? So Wama Kana Muhammadun, because Muhammad is the subject, is mubtada of Kana. Muhammadun Aba Ahadin. Muhammad was not. Now what? What is the khabar? Aba ahadin, father of any one of us. So Aba here is accusative, which most of you are correct. Aba ahadin. Min rijalikum walakin Rasulullahi walakin Rasulullahi wa khataman nabiyyin. Right? But he is Rasulullah. He is not anybody's father, but it's not just what Rasulullah. You know, after this ayat was revealed, Bibi Fatima, subhanallah, she always started calling her father Rasulullah until the Prophet said, no, this does not apply to you. I am your father, you can still call me as father, right? But she can imagine, she started immediately following the command. No? Makan Muhammad Aba Ahadin. He was not father of anyone. In other words, of course, the position of Rasulullah is higher than just being a father. But Prophet liked his daughter addressing as a father, right? It was a very special relation, right? That being addressed, oh my father. So Rasulullah said, no, Fatima, you call me still father, right? And then, of course, inna hadha akhi, again, this hadha is akhi. So this is will be, akhi also will be what nominative. This is my brother. My brother, this is hadha akhi. Again, you can see akhi here means my brother. It is genitive, but here is what nominative. Like no, this is my brother. Lahu tis'un, wa tis'una na'jatan. No, he has lahu. Right? Tis'atun wa tis'un na'jatan, waliya na'jatun wahidatan. Innama al-mu'minuna ikhwatun. You know, mu'minin are brothers, right? Faslihu bayna akhawaykum. So you can see if this is also nominative, faslihu bayna akhawaykum. Now, of course, this bayna akhawaykum should not be nominative. Should bayna is yeah, okay. This I have doubts about this. Okay, hold on. Let me just because bayna is preposition is preposition. Akhawaykum. So let me check it. Okay, hold on. Let me just check in the mojam. What does it say? Because bayna, I remember, is the preposition. So akhawaykum should be genitive. $49. Yeah. Yeah, without بين أخويكم. Also, it says here also it says nominative. I have to again park this thing. Okay, this I'm going to park this. I will come to it again, and this also. Let us remove this thing, and I'm going to just park this thing and come to you again, because here it seems here they say nominative in this mojam, but I have to see why. Faslihu bayna akhawaykum. Faslihu bayna. Because bayna is a preposition, so it should be genitive. I'll check for you, inshallah. Tabbat yada abi. Okay. Why is abi genitive here? Anybody? First of all, this abi doesn't mean my father. Okay, keep in mind this abi here. Tabbat yada abi. Abi is not my father. So this is genitive. Anybody knows why?
Because we said the yad of the hand of Abi.
So
Abu Lahab.
Mudaf ilayh, right? Yada abi.
Correct.
Yada abi, that means the hand, it is Yadain, Yadan abi, that means the hands of Abi, but because it's Mudaf ilayh, remember we said in Mudaf, the noon goes away. The Arab of noon goes away if it is Mudaf. No, so it is Yadani abi, the hands of Abu Lahab. But Yada abi, so this is the hands of Abu Lahab. Because Abu Lahab is one name, right? So yeah, hands of Muhammad. So this Abi here is just the hands of Abi. So in this case, it's genitive Abi. This is not my father. It's not the hand of my father. No, it's the hand of Abu Lahab. Okay, so this Abi doesn't mean my father. Here, Abi means the part of Abu Lahab, the kunya of Abu Lahab. Okay, Abi Lahab. You can see, of course, Tabat Yada Abi Lahab. And Lahabin, of course, here is Mudaf ilayh. That's why it is what genitive. Lahabin, you can see. Abu Lahabin. So Abi Lahabin. Tabbat Yada Abi Lahabin. Example, if it was say Kala Abu Lahabin. If it was Kala, it would be Abu Lahabin. But Yada Abi Lahabin, because it is Mudaf ilayh, it is Abi Lahabin. So again, this is also quite tricky. It is, most of you got it correctly, but keep in mind that this Abi doesn't mean my father. Yeah, Abu, as we said earlier, is part of the name, like Abu Abdullah. Katabtu ila Abi Abdullah. Katabtu ila Abdullah. That means I wrote to Abu Abdullah. Abi Abdullah, he is not my father. It's just part of the name Abu Abdullah. Okay, so that is a trick. So these two, inshallah, I'll get back to you. The Mojam says it is what nominative, but we'll try to get the reason for that. Any questions before I go? Now I forgot to put this hadith. So of course I didn't expect you to answer that, but I thought since I said earlier that color code the magnified nouns following verses and hadith. But the hadith, somehow when I sent out the slides for posting, I forgot. So look at this hadith. It's an interesting hadith, right? It's Tuhf al-Uqul. It is a very good book, Tuhf al-Uqul. You can also get its translation. It has the sayings of 14 Masumin. No, very good. And it's one of the oldest books. So it is it's a trustworthy book. No, it said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أقل ما يكون في آخر الزمان أخ يوثق به أو درهم من حلال. Subhanallah, you can see what Prophet says. Akhir zaman, a time would come, end of the times, that Prophet says, أقل ما يكون. You'll find scarcity of what? Two things. Akhun yusaku bihi, a trustworthy brother, somebody you can trust. Sometimes you tell somebody, I'm telling you something between you and myself. The next time he goes and talks to his wife. The next time he goes and talks to his friends. Cannot be trusted. Although you tell him that this is between two of us. Whenever somebody, for example, tells you that this should be between two of us, right? You either say, please don't tell me, if you're not going to keep the secret. Otherwise, make sure that the secret is kept. So the Prophet says, أَقَلُّ مَا يَكُونُ فِي آخِرَ الزَّمَانِ. You'll find in the end times, two things will be scarce. The scarcity of that. One is أَخٌ يُوثَقُ بِهِ, a brother who can be trusted. But dirhamun min halalin. And you have a dirham, a dollar or a coin, which is earned in halal way. It's easy to cheat and earn than work hard and earn a living. See, so you can see. So if you have earning for which you have worked hard, then you should be proud of it, because it is rare that your money which you have, which you're working hard, putting your efforts, and you are not, for example, trying to overcharge somebody or take advantage of the situation. No, you're putting efforts into it. So you can see, dirhamun halalin, min halalin, or dirham, which is from halal earning. So this was misguided, it was not in the slides. But here afun is again what nominative. To have. Yakunu fi akhir zamani afun. So this will be what nominative because of ism yakun. Okay, most of you got this correct. The phrase Al-Taqul appears 4 times above in the surah. Why? Anybody would like to answer besides those who gave the homework? We have 8 people this time in the class, and 3 of you gave us homework, so there was still 6. Anybody would like to answer?
Yeah, because this is messenger. And the messenger is revealing that the prophets Allah sent, and he from his brethren, and he told his brethren to be in the awe of Allah, but they did not listen or trust him.
Okay, but why this phrase Allah tattaqun? What does it tell you? Why does this phrase appear again and again, besides every prophet's name? No, Hud, Saleh, Lut, right?
They were
You can
trying
see-
to tell their people to be in the awe of Allah.
Yes.
that-
Okay,
yeah.
that's good. But my question is, no, that is correct meaning what we are saying. Okay, this is the message, but why the same message appears beside every prophet? For example, you can say Saleh, no, Lut, right? Hud, Saleh. It's because you can see all the prophets had the same message. Message of prophets is universal. It did not change, whether it was Adam or the Khatam, right? Every prophet has said, why don't you fear your Lord? So just to indicate that within the same surah, the ayat comes, the only difference what? You know the meaning of ease, right? What's the meaning of ease? Anybody knows the meaning of ease? This ease, what's the meaning of ease here? In Quran, when you find ease, what does it mean? We discussed this in the past. What's the meaning of ease? When Quran says ease, what does it mean? It means recall the time. Okay, ease means recall the time. So is kana lahum akhuhum. Akhuhum, of course, their brethren. That means he's talking to his tribe, his own tribe, right? Because all Hud and Saleh and what Lut, right, and all these prophets, right, they were and Nuh, they were sent to their own people. He was amongst them. Not outside did not come. He was part of them. No, Nuh and Lut and Saleh, Hud, right, all of them. So it was his own tribe of whom. No, Allah tattaqun. Would you not fear God? Would you not fear God? No. So the message is universal. Okay, of all the prophets. Fear Allah or be awe of Allah, have a taqwa of Allah subhanahu, be God conscious. Parhezgar ikhtiyar kijiye. Those who know Urdu, just try to parhezgar. Would you not fear Allah? Allah tattaqun? Okay. So the whole idea is that the message is universal of all the prophets. Okay. And of course, all of you got correct. Akun ikhwatun, right? Akun is singular, ikhwatun is plural. Any questions? Besides these two, I will just get back to you. Whether it is nominative or something else. Okay. Any other question? So this is why you see we are emphasizing about this homework. I put a lot of time in trying to collect this homework slides. To make a homework slide, you can see that it's not even part of the today's slide. After today, once we do this thing, I will now sit tomorrow morning and try to gather the homework just to be able to discuss this thing more. Any questions? So we go to the next part of magnifying nouns, okay? And that is zu and that. This also appears often in Quran, zu and that. You can see all these references in Quran. You can see all these words. We've got many references. Even our author, Hafiza Ifat Hassan, she has also included, mashallah, a number of examples in the text. No, we'll look at some of them, inshallah. So this is it. It is Dhu, Dhawaina, Ulu, Dhatun, Dhawataini, Ula, right? So Dhu is singular, masculine. Dual is Zawani or Zawaina, both. Okay. And then ulu, plural. Zatun, of course, is zu, but it is feminine. Zu is masculine, zatun is feminine. Okay. Zawataini or zawatan. The way it is zawaina means dual masculine. Zawataini is dual feminine or zawatan. And here it is ulu, it is ulatun. Okay. So these are all these words you know. Du, zawaina, ulu, zatun, and it appears quite often. What does it mean, right? The word zu and its derivative, zawatun, zawiyun, zatun, can mean owner or possessor of, or endowed with, or characterized by. All these are the meaning. No, same. It gives this kind. Either it is owner of, for example, zumal. Zumal is, for example, if somebody is rich, we say huwa ghaniyun. Or you can also say huwa zumalun. No, zumal. That means huwa zumali. That means he has wealth. So zumalin is person with wealth, no, owner of wealth, or what is endowed with wealth. No, zumalin. Okay, so it's same as ghaniyun. Okay, so zu is either owner or possessor of, endowed with, or characterized by, right? And of course, we have got most common examples. Example, the 12 months, right? Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah. Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah. Right? Dhul Fikar, no. La fata illa aliyun, wala sayfun illa dhul fikar, right? You must have heard this in Majlis a number of times. La fata illa, there is no youth like Ali, no, la sayfun illa dhul fikar, and there is no sword like dhul fikar, right? So Dhul Hijjah is because it is created by the month of Hajj, it's known as Dhul Hijjah, no? And then, of course, what Dhul Fikar, no? That means it had two legs, no? Dhul Fikar. These are words which you know. And in fact, the word Dhul Fadli is used often, possessor of bounty. Allah is possessor of bounty, Dhul Fadl. Fadl is grace or bounty of Allah. For example, Allah says in the ayat which we recite often in Nikah, right? In the khutbah of Nikah, we say, Ankul ayama minkum wasalihina min ibadikum wa imaikum in yakunu fuqara yughnihim Allahu min fadli. In yakunu fuqara, if, for example, when you marry, either you or your spouse or both of you, in yakunu fuqara, if they happen to be poor, yughnihim Allahu, Allah is going to enrich them min fadlihi, from His grace. So the scholars tell grace is even more. For example, as I told, right, if I live alone, it will cost me $500. If a girl who says I'm going to marry, lives, she's going to $500. But when you live together, $1,000 will not be enough, right? Now we are living as a family. So I was living simply, but now we want a family, you want a bigger house, you want furniture, all those things. So the expenses increases, right? When you live as a family. And that's why many of the boys sometimes don't get married. And there's a hadith, clear hadith said about that the person who does not get married on account of lack of wealth is in fact does not trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah says, He promises, in yakunu fuqara'a yughnihim al-fadl, that you marry those who are single. If they are poor, Allah is going to enrich them min fadlihi. Fadl is grace of Allah, special bounty. And that's why you can see the word Dhu Fadlin. Dhul Fadl or Dhu Fadlin. No? Dhul Fadl, that means possessor of bounty, or Dhu Fadlin. What possessor of bounties? No, Dhu Fadlin. This is used for Allah a number of times. So in Quran, for example, we see this thing. Wallahu Dhul Fadlil Azim. Subhanallah. It's a very beautiful and a powerful phrase. Allah is owner of great, not only bounty, but great bounty. Dhul Fadlil Azim. Allah is not only full of fadl. It's not there's a lot of grace, but Fadlil Azim. Great, no? And that is the meaning when you ask Allah, don't have doubts. Will He give me or not? He is full of grace. And that grace is huge, right? You can see it's a great bounty. So it appears Quran, for example, 1, 2, 3, 5 times this phrase comes. Wallahu dhul fadl al-azim comes in the Quran 5 times. SubhanAllah, you can see, and also it is part of the dua, as we are going to say. So any questions? We will look at some of these ayat. Okay, so let's very quickly look at some of the verses here. Okay, and if you have the, please open the Quran. So let us look at, for example, 283, because I've given all these references. The reference could either be zu or the or the. Okay, so let us look at 283. Surah Al-Baqarah, no, and ayat 83. Okay. Page 17, you're on page 60, that's fine. فَذَخَذَ مِيثَاقَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ لَا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا اللَّهَ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَذِي الْقُرْبَى. Okay, so it is ذِي. وَذِي الْقُرْبَى, you can see. وَالْيَتَامَى وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. So you see, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, and be kind to your parents. So وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ, this ba is the preposition. So it is walidan, that means parents. Walidain is now what is genitive. Wabil walidain. Ihsana. Wadhi. So now this wow, after that, zi is also genitive because of that ba. The ba applies to walidain, and also because there is the waw al ataf, it means waw of conjugation, wazil kurba. No, otherwise it would be zul kurba. Zul kurba, that means the relatives, people who are your near relatives. No, cool. But wazil kurba is because of ba. Wabil walidain ihsana, be good to your parents and to your relatives. Okay, and kindly people and to be relatives. It means zil kurba, relatives, or your kin and kith. Kin and kith is zil kurba. Okay, so do you see that is z. Okay, we look at 105, which we already, I think, looked earlier. So I won't go to 105. Let's say 5106. Okay, so we go to 5106. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu shahadatu bainakum idha hadara ahadukum al-maut hin al-wasiyati isnan. Okay, now of course this is that Allah is talking when somebody, those who is near death, right? The witness between you when death produces any of you while making a witness. Now, if you do your wasiyat, you say, right? Oh, no, they say, isnani. Zawa adlin, shall be two just men from among yourselves. So, zawa adlin, that means two people endowed with adalat, with justice. So they say, zawa adlin. No. Hina wasiyata isnani zawa adlin. You can see this is zawa, right? 5106. So in fact, this should become here, Zawa. I don't know why I put it there. Hold on, let's see, maybe there is something. Zawa Adlin and Zawa Adlin. Za Kurba, yeah, okay, here again, Za Kurba. So that's why I put it here, Za Kurba. You see, Za Kurba here, there is also Zawa, but also there is, so this 5106 is also, you can also have 5106 here. Za Kurba, you can see later on it comes here, right? And then it says that no, la tashtari bihi samanan walau kana za kurba. No, we will not sell it for any gain, even if it were relative. No, la tashtari bihi samanan walau kana za kurba. No, so you can see the kurba here is, even if he was, this is again, the kurba here is accusative because of what? Because of what khabar of kana. No? The kurba. Relatives again, the kurba. But here it is in accusative, the kurba. Okay, 5106. Then, of course, if you go to 5527, this is interesting because many of us know this surah. Surah what is Rahman. Okay, we look at 5. We put ayah 57. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَيَبْكَى وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ ذُو الْجَلَالِ وَالْإِكْرَامِ. See, وَيَبْكَى وَجْهُ, yet last thing is the face of your Lord. وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ. Do you see here? We saw Waji Abi, right? Now here it is Wajhu Rabbika. That means the face of your Lord. So you can see Wajhu is Mudaf, Rabbi is Mudaf ilay, so that's why Ba has a kasra, Wajhu Rabbika. But because here Wajhu Rabbi is the face of Allah is going to remain, so it is a subject. Wayabka and remains, lasting, and lasting is the face of your Lord. So your face is a subject, and that is what nominative, but Wajhu Rabbika, no, Dhul Jalali, okay? Because now it is describing who is the Lord, Dhul Jalal wal Ikram, right? Majestic and magnificent. Because Allah is nominative, so it is also, his adjective also is nominative. It's described, right? Dhul Jalal wal Ikram. Allah, the one who is majestic and magnificent. So Dhul Jalal, you see those do is there. Are you with me? And then we look at again ayat number 78, the last one, Tabarak Rabbika Dhul Jalal wal Ikram. Here he is Tabaraka Ismi Rabbuk. You see? So why is this? Why here is genitive the? Anybody knows? Then it was zu, now it is z. Why it is z? The last ayat of Surah Rahman. Tabaraka Ismu Rabbika Dhul Jalal wal Ikram. Anybody know why it is genitive?
Mudaf ilayh.
Mudaf ilayh, how? It is the adjective of Rabb. Okay, like earlier we said that no, in ayat number 27, let us go back to ayat number 27. Wajabka Wajhu Rabbika. Because Wajhu Rabbika here, of course, what the face of your Lord, right? Here, because Rabb was the subject, the adjective also is follows the subject, is Dhul Jalal. Dhul Jalal Ikram. Here you can see Dhul Jalal Ikram. Tabaraka Ismu Rabbika. So here Rabb is what? You're right, is Rabb itself is Mudaf. Ismu Rabbika. Name of your Lord, right? Ismu Tabaraka Ismu, blessed is the name, Ismu Rabbika. The name of your Lord. Dhul Jalal wal Ikram. So because Rabb here is what Mudaf ilay of Ismu, Mudaf ilay, and Dhul Jalal wal Ikram is describing, of course nobody can describe Allah, but is one of the sifat of Allah, Dhul Jalal wal Ikram, the majestic and the magnificent. It is Dhul Jalal wal Ikram. So because of Ismu Rabbika, because Rabb here is Mudaf ilay, right? This also Z, Mudaf ilay always is genitive, so that's why this Z is genitive. Okay, so you can see the same earlier Rabb was Zu, but it's Z. Okay, Rabbu Tabaraka Ismu Rabbika. Ismu Rabbika, name of your Lord. So is Mudaf ilay of Ism. Okay, in the same way, Dhul Jalal wal Ikram is one of the sifat of that Rabb, that he is majestic and magnificent. Dhul Jalali wa Ikram. Okay. So I understand that it is not that easy, but you have to try to realize how the things are different. Okay. So that's why I give you all these examples. You can see how they differ one from the other. SubhanAllah, within these 55, you can see one is nominative and one is what genitive. You can Z, do here it is do, means Z, right? So Jalali, you can Jalali. Yes. Same word, Jalali, but one is nominative, one is genitive. Because one is subject and one is Mudaf ilay. Okay. Let's look at, because we are limited time, so what I'll do is that let us look at some of the feminine, okay, cases, then we'll come back to masculine. So let us look at 18:17. Surah 18, ayat 17. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَتَرَى الشَّمْسَ إِذَا طَلَعَتْ تَزَاوَرُ عَنْ كَهْفِهِمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ. Subhanallah. This is the ayat which is talking about what? Anybody knows? Here's the translation of you. What does it talk about?
The caves, the Surah Kahf, the caves.
Yeah, about the cave, people of Ashab al-Kahf, right?
Yeah.
This ayat 17 and 18, by the way, if anybody has a problem of sleeping, insomnia, it is said that you recite this ayat before sleeping. Okay, alhamdulillah, if you don't have a problem, say alhamdulillah, but maybe others whom you know in the family who might have going through this thing, ask them to recite these two ayats. Okay, 17, 18. Then it is, we come to the meaning. But Shamsa, you will see the sun, إِذَا طَلَعَتْ, when it rises. تَزَاوَرُ, slanting عَنْ كَهْفِهِمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ, slanting towards the right of their cave. ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ, right? So towards the right of, no, you can see right of the ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ. ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ, Yamin is right side, no? So because it is what feminine, it is ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ. No? Because Shams is what? Is Shams masculine or feminine? Anybody knows, is Shams feminine or masculine?
Feminine?
Yeah. How do we know? From this ayah. Because we have not done wow, inshallah. No, it's إذا طلعت. طلعت is for feminine. For example, is that قالت Maryam, right? قالت. So it is, you can see والشمس إذا طلعت. When you find the sun rising, you see, if it was for masculine, it would be just طلع. If it was masculine, it would be طلع, but it's طلعت. You see, so it is feminine. And that's why فإذا غربت تقدم ذات اليمين. But when it says, it cut across them towards the left. No? You can see when it rises, slanting towards the right, and then of course left. So slanting towards the right, ذات اليمين, discussing about what? Sun going towards the right, inclining towards the right and left. So that is ذات اليمين here is towards the right, but of course it is a feminine. So ذات اليمين. Of course here you can see ذات. Here it is, because it's accusative, ذات اليمين. It is object. The sun sets towards, the sun, for example, rises slanting towards the right of the cave, ذات اليمين. ذات اليمين, ذات الشمال. He said, just you can see, subhanallah, how, although Yamin is right and what Shimal is left, but even here, the way they use the language, ذات اليمين towards the right, towards the left, not ذات اليمين. So that is a feminine and accusative, ذات اليمين. Okay. Let us look at another example. Try if somebody has a question, okay? Let us look at an example, then I'll go to the next slide, which is about some hadiths, which are interesting, okay? We'll just take one more example. Yeah, before I go to that, you can see here, in this case, in the feminine dual and plural form, the accusative and genitive, right, and both accusative and feminine, you can see in this four, right? So accusative and genitive is same, zawati, ulati. As remember, we said mu'minin. Mu'minin is both accusative and also genitive. The same way, zawati. So keep this in mind that here it is same, accusative and genitive. That's why I just colored this thing. Okay. So let us look at this, for example, one ayat, 55, 48. Again, let's go to Rahman, right? Again, we go to 55, which is a beautiful surah. Look at ayat number 48. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Zawata afnan, right? You can see. Zawata, both abounding in branches, right? So you can see Zawata afnan, both abounding in branches, no? Here, or both full of variety, that is of fruits, no? Zawata, none. So Zawata, of course, is full of, no, possessor of branches or fruits. Zawat Afnan. Subhanallah. You can see how Quran has just summarized this thing by saying that there are two branches. وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. Zawat Afnan, both abounding in branches. Because it is described in the Jannatan, right? Jannat is a feminine, so both of them. You can see وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. The one who stands in awe of his Lord will have two gardens. You see, ayat number 46. Gardens, Jannatan. Jannat is garden, Jannatan is two gardens. So وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ, the one who stands in awe of Lord will have two gardens. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Zawata, right? Both gardens are abounding in branches or full of fruits. That's why you can see puts the footnote there. He says, or both full of variety of fruits. Because you can say if they're just branches, what is the exciting about this? No, these are gardens full of fruit. Zawata Afnan. Zawata here because it's masculine, feminine, and they are dual. That's why it's Zawata. You can see here is. No, Zawata, do you see this nominative? Zawata, no, they are full of branches or full of fruits. Okay. We just go to the next slide, which is quite interesting. I will leave that on. You can use it for homework, but just now, very clearly, I won't get into the grammar. We have only about 2 minutes, but look at this, these, they are beautiful, right? Especially the last one. I know some of you, mashallah, are doing well economically. Some of you are already retired, so you are not in difficulty. If you know somebody is suffering, this is a very beautiful dua brought by Abu Ja'far, that means the fifth Imam. And Abu Ja'far, Kala Udu fi talabi rizqi fil maktuba. Maktuba, that means wajib prayer. Okay, fil maktuba, those prayers which are written, which are prescribed. Fil maktuba, this means wajib. Wa anta sajidun, and you are in sajda. So that means in one of your sajdas, after last sajda or any sajda, you say this thing. Ya khair al-mas'uleen wa khair al-mu'teen urzukni warzuk ayali min fadlika al-wasiya innaka dhul fadl al-azim. You can see dhul fadl, right? Dhul fadl al-same. Dhul fadl al-azim. This is similar to what appears in Quran. Dhul fadl al-azim. That you are the great, the generous, right? You are the great generous, dhul fadl al-azim. Or you can see honor of the great bounty. So it is a beautiful dua you recite in the sajda. Ya khair al-mas'uleen wa ya khair al-muteen. Urzukna. If the ayat is not from Quran, you can change it to plural. It's urzukni, but for example, when I lead the prayer and I say this in sajda, I change it to urzukna instead of urzukni. Because I'm praying not only for myself, but also praying for mu'mineen who are praying this with me. So Zukna or Zuk Ayalina, and also sustain our families. Min fadlika, from your grace, from your munificence, from your great azim. Indeed, you are the great generous. No, actually, this translation is not good. Indeed, you are the honor of the great bounty. Okay, so this translation is not a good one. I'll change it later on before sending it out. So these are good hadiths. Have a look at it. Of course, it will appear when I send you this evening, when I send this to Ali this evening, you will find this hadith. But you can see how Dhu has been used here. Dhu, here also Dhu is there, okay? And there is also Dhu here. Here Dhu is there, here Dhu is there, again Dhu is here. Dhul Haja. Dhul Haja, the one who is needy. No. Dhul Tijara, that means the one who is expert in business, right? The one who has a lot of experience, the Tajari. There's Dhul Ma'ai, person full of force, for example, with Ayn, Ma'ai. So you can see how the Zu is being used, full of force, full of experience, full of hajat, right? All fadl, full of grace, full of fadl. Any questions? I'm 1 minute above the time. Any questions? So, inshallah, we have not yet put on our website, but we will add the information about this next course. We still have one more session next week, inshallah. But the new session, new level will begin, inshallah, on January 3rd. I hope it's not too early, immediately after New Year. No, we'll take a break of 2 weeks. Please try, if you are at home, if not traveling, try to revise these things. I really request. And, it will be slightly easier, because what will happen is that now, if you see in our book, this book, right, we are left with only one lesson before we end this unit. So it is Arab of nouns. Now with these magnified nouns, unchangeable, right? That is, now there's a verbal noun, masdar. Now that's a good one. Masdar, and after masdar, of course, we come to fa'al, right? So it is a good way, good bridge to what the fa'al, the verbs. And that will be easier. The easier work and interesting also, because then you have complete what sentences. That's fine. Yeah, if you are traveling, we can start. Can you start 1:15? My goodness. Okay, you are always traveling, sister, mashallah. So I don't know. Let me have your comments. Okay, you can message me personally. Don't put in the group. Just message me personally that if you would like me to delay, because one of the sisters is saying that we should delay till 15th, which is that means we are breaking for 4 weeks, which is quite long. I don't mind. Just let me know. I realized that's why I'm not even posted on the website. This is one of the reasons. I didn't post on the website because I knew that usually people go on leave and they are not back by the 2nd of January. So I can still delay, let's say, 1 more week and start instead of what 3rd, we can start on the 10th, or if a sister says after 15, that means 17. In any case, please, I request all of you to just send me in a personal message that, for example, would you like us to start on 17th? That will give us a whole month of break, or 10th or 3rd, no? And I'll go by majority. Of course, if you're deciding to join again, if I'm deciding to join, then of course we appreciate your coming all these levels, inshallah. We still have one class. We'll meet again next week. But please let me know before next week, so then I can announce exactly when we are going to start. Any questions?